makeup friends, and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and this is a new series that I am testing out of getting ready for work. So I am scheduled in the office for 4 days this week. I'm going to be doing my makeup every day and filming it and sharing with you the looks that I create to work in an office setting. Sometimes I lean a little bit more colorful, sometimes it's very neutral. It really depends on what I have on the agenda for that day. So for today, Monday, I have no in-person meetings, no Zoom meetings. Everything I'm doing today is by phone, but I do still like to do my makeup even on days when I know I'm not going to be face-to-facing with anybody because I work with other people, they see me. But more so, I just feel more put together and more polished if I do my makeup. So it's more about me than it is about anybody else. So here we are. It is going to be a fairly easy makeup day for me today. I'm planning on using just basically this product here. This is the Ilia Color Haze Multi-Use Pigment in the shade Stutter. Let's just get right into it. So starting off with the Clean Canvas eyeshadow base from Dior Cosmetics in the shade Fair. I have to say, I love this eyeshadow primer. It's probably my favorite eyeshadow primer out there, but I truly wish that it came with either a doe foot applicator or in a squeeze tube, because the little pot, it's really hard to judge how much you're getting out of it. But it does cover up all the discoloration of my eyelids. It really does help the eyeshadows pop and stay in place all day. So my complaints are pretty minimal, but there is definitely a learning curve to it. So going in with that Ilia product, this made me pat it all over my cheeks. And then, as I said in the intro, I used it on my eyes and on my lips as well. So this was for Monday. I didn't have any in-person appointments, but I had two telephone consultations, and I was super stressed about them. One was for an urgent matter, another one was for just a very complicated matter. Turns out the urgent matter is actually pretty straightforward. I've been retained on that one, so we'll have a court date in a couple of months, and I'm not stressed about that one at all. And then the other one actually ended up rescheduling that day, and then rescheduling the next day, and then just stood me up on the third go round. So not my problem. Anyways, that was all I had going on that day. And then the kids had swimming lessons that night. So I just wanted something easy and fast, and you can't get much easier than just using one product for 3 different placements. And I got it in the Lucky Bag from Beautylish. Now, I have never ordered one of those Lucky Bags, and I will never order one again. Or at least that's what I say at this point. Check back next year. But I think my collection's too big to be effing around with mystery bags. I would rather just put my money towards the products that I know I want. This was a nice little surprise. Like I've actually enjoyed this pigment, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. This multi-use product. I really enjoyed it. I really like the color of it. But in my Lucky Bag, like the biggest ticket item that I had was a Wayne Goss palette that I already own. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I'll probably do a giveaway at some point. So I guess my tragedy is your reward. I don't know. You're going to have to forgive me while I'm doing this voiceover. I am just bristling with anger today. This is going to sound so ridiculous, but here we are. Somebody hacked my Pizza account of all things, ordered themselves $80 worth of shit at like 11 o'clock this morning. It's Saturday as I'm doing my voiceover. And I got the email from it, and I got a PayPal notification. I called Pizza. They are completely useless. I couldn't do anything with PayPal because at the time it was just an authorization, so I called my bank. Meanwhile, all of this takes like half an hour to get through each layer of hell. And the bank has put a stop payment, but that also means that I can no longer use PayPal for anything, which we use PayPal for everything. So it has been a gigantic pain in the dick all morning trying to deal with this. So here I am sitting down trying to do a voiceover and trying not to be a ranty, pissy person, but I'm feeling very ranty and pissy at the moment. Anyways, look at that highlighter. That is ColourPop Flexitarian. It is beautiful. absolutely beautiful. I wish ColourPop wasn't on my shit list because I would repurchase that highlighter, but I have a million highlighters. I'm going to be okay. So just going in with a little bit of powder, and you'll see that I powder my eyelids as well, not a step that I typically do. But because this pigment had just a tiny little bit of tackiness, I just wanted to set it right down. And I'm kind of glad that I did because it lasted all day. There was no creasing, which I was really surprised about because a lot of times these more liquidy shadows do end up creasing, but this one stayed true all day long, and I'm really happy about that. And then I don't know why I'm showing the eyeliner, but here we are. I'm just lining the lash line. I used to be able to do like just a little tiny flick, like not a full-on wing, but just a little flick at the end, which I thought was really pretty. But as I'm getting older and my eyelids are starting to, lose the battle with gravity a little bit, it just doesn't work out all that well. This mascara is from Ilia as well, and I don't like it. Look, it doesn't do anything. I don't like it. So that is one that even though it's not nearly finished, I think I'm just going to part ways with it because it's useless and I have better. Okay, I had previous to this day tried using this Ilia product just on its own on my lips, and I found it very drying. So I'm just going in with a very thin layer of lip balm first, and then I really smushed it around and just blotted off all the excess, and then went in with the Ilia product just so that there was a little bit of a moisture barrier there. And it basically just turned it into a really nice tinted lip balm that lasted quite well on the lips. Like, I can't say that you're going to get like 5 hours of wear out of this or anything like that, but it had more lasting power than a gloss, more lasting power than a regular tinted lip balm, but it had that same kind of feel and my lips felt very nourished with it. So I would recommend trying it that way if you do have a product like this that you want to use on your lips. So the precision definitely wasn't there, so I just went in with a flat shader brush because I don't have a lip brush. I never use lip brushes. My mother always used one, but I refuse. Maybe because my mother always used one. I don't know. And then there was the outfit. So orange canvas, dark blue jeans, and a nice little striped sweater. And then we are on to day 2. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that all of the looks in this video are done using the Makeup by Mario foundation. I love it. And this is my first time using the Fantasy Cosmetica, I think you say Druid, I think that's how it said, the Druid palette. And it ended up being a really pretty eye look considering I used 2 eyeshadows in this whole thing. So the application is actually very, very similar to the first day, but different colors produce completely different results, as you will see as we go into this. So this day, I didn't have any in-person meetings either. I love when I don't have in-person meetings. I love it. Not that I like the phone, but there's just something so very tiring about in-person peopling for an introvert like me. So here we go. I've got the Makeup by Mario foundation on. I'm using the Hourglass concealer right here. I have finally tested all of my concealers out, and now I just have to figure out how I'm actually going to do that video because I took pictures, but it's an awful lot of my eyes, and I don't know about that. So I will put my thinking cap on and figure out how I'm going to do this. So yeah, that's all I had going on that day. It's been a pretty low-key week, which is nice. But the exciting thing for this week, this is, by the way, this is the same shadow. I'm just building up the intensity on that outer corner. Anyways, getting back to it. The exciting thing that happened this week is that we have hired a new associate who's going to start in a few days' time. So I'm very, very relieved about that. Very excited about that. She's fairly new to the practice of law, but she's really eager. I think she's going to be a great addition to our team, and I'm just excited to grow our firm again. So that was exciting. And then we also have somebody that we're having a second interview with in this upcoming week, so we shall see how that goes. But yeah, I'm just going to go in with a bit of a multi-chrome shadow here, or a duochrome, and place that, well, you'll see where we place it, but hit it with a little bit of setting spray first, and then pat, pat, drag. That's my application technique, pat, pat, drag. And I was just really happy with how this look turned out. I thought it was really dramatic looking and really, really pretty. But as you saw, it was only 2 shadows. And I love when eyeshadow looks are so simple yet so impactful. And then for inner corner highlight, going in with Flexitarian. And that was the end of the eye look. I don't think I recorded the eyeliner or the mascara for this one. I tend not to for anything past the first day. But I did want to show the blush choice. So that is from Bare Minerals, their bronzer in Kiss of Pink. I didn't want anything too, pigmented. I didn't want anything too pigmented on my cheeks because I had so much color going on the eyes. So I thought that this would add a nice little balance. And then I had my little visitor come in. And these little clips that I put in of him are only a few minutes long, but I can't get rid of this boy. He just wants to pick out my earrings and my rings and my lipstick and my eyeshadow, even though I already have eyeshadow on. Doesn't stop him, but it's also very, very cute. So then going in with this Chanel lipstick, and the color might look a little intense, but because it has such a sheer finish to it and a nice shiny glossy finish, I felt that it kind of complemented the eyes rather than being too bold. And then there's the outfit of the day, just a sweater dress, and that jacket is from Mango, and I love it so much. And then on the third day, I was an idiot and I forgot to hit record, but I am dedicated to the process, so I'll just walk you through what I did. I used the Dior Quint in Soft Cashmere, and I'm just showing you the steps that I did here. So this was for Thursday. I had taken Wednesday off of work, and that day I did have an in-person meeting with an existing client of mine, so I wanted to keep it professional, quote unquote, and pulled together. I don't who established, you know what? It was probably some man in the 1950s who established this rule that professional makeup has to be devoid of color. And I think we need to rise up and push back against that, because what the hell? But here I am, a slave to tradition, I guess, with this eyeshadow look. And then I went in with the Hourglass blush. And now you get to see the lips. At any rate, I didn't want the day to be a complete waste, but I was a little bit pissy with myself when I realized that I didn't hit record, because what a bloody rookie mistake to make. Regardless, here we are. This is another Dior lip product in the shade, I think 100, their liquid lipstick. Not my favorite formula, to be honest. Very pretty color, but it does tend to be a little bit drying. And then I've got my winter boots, jeans, and a sweater on for that day. Nothing too exciting. So, day 4. And when you see the outfit all together, it's a bit of a dichotomy, but we'll get there. So going in with the Merit blush in the shade Cheeky, and it looks really intense, but it does blend out really nicely. And then once I apply just a very, very light dusting of powder over top, it really tones it down as well. So don't be alarmed by how bright my cheeks look, because by the end, it all kind of pulls together. No big deal. And then I'm also using the tinted brow gel from Merit, and you can see I kind of overshot the eyebrow there. I fixed the other eyebrow and then went in to remove that little smudge. Not my favorite eye gel. I am beholden to this NYX brow glue at this point. It is my favorite, and all the rest of them, even the ones that I thought I liked, I don't really like them anymore, because that one has just raised the bar so high for me. Regardless, moving on, using the Sultry palette, I went in with a very light hand with that gray shade, and then you'll see me build it up from there. But I wanted something a little bit more cool toned. I wanted a very straightforward and simple eye look again. I knew that I wanted to wear a bolder lipstick, so wanted to keep the eyes fairly minimal while still playing with makeup, because I get carried away. So hands up, who else gets carried away when they do their makeup? You go in thinking it's going to be really, really simple and really, a light makeup day, and then before you know it, you've got wings out to your friggin' temples and glitter. Like it just happens. I don't make the rules. It's just what happens. So then going in with that shade Cyborg, I freaking love this shade. It is so beautiful. There's just something about it. It's not as harsh as like a true silver would be, but it still has like a very silvery feel to it. It's basically like a very, very shimmery taupe, and it's so gorgeous. Why they didn't make this palette permanent is beyond me, but again, I don't make the rules. So then just blending out those edges there with a little bit more of that gray shade. And then you will see me go in and pick up a little bit of the black, which again, can go from 0 to 60 in like a nanosecond. But I picked up a very little bit, tapped off like all of the excess, and then you'll see I just put it on the very outsides and then used what was left over to go over the lower lash line one more time, just deepening that up a little bit. In terms of what I had going on my agenda that day, I didn't actually have any in-person meetings. I had that rescheduled consultation on the books, but they never called in and they never showed up, so I obviously never met with them, and it was just a bunch of drafting and a lot of administrative work for the actual office itself. I sometimes don't really like being the boss, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's a lot of work. It definitely has its perks to it, but my goodness, there's a lot that goes into it. But I'm glad that I have a really great team, and I have become very, very good at delegating. So if anything, there's my silver lining. So then just going in and brightening up those inner corners, and then the bold lipstick time. So I'm starting off with one of the lip pencils from Dior Cosmetics, Brick House, Brick Road, something. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it in the description box if I remember. But I love the Dior Cosmetics lip pencils. Like, you do have to sharpen them. They're not retractable, but I actually like that for lip pencils. I just find that it's always fresh that way, and then it's always a nice sharp angle every time you sharpen it. And then going in with the Lip Bar liquid lipstick in Boss Lady. Freaking love this red. It's actually looking a little bit brighter on camera than it does in person. It's a little bit deeper in person, but it is just beautiful. So again, bear in mind what I said about my outfits. So I look very, very polished, very fancy up front. And then we'll get into the picture of my outfit. And I had to balance it out with some jeans and some Adidas sneakers because life's all about balance. Anyways, be a decent human being. Bye.